Hello guys, welcome to the episode 36 of this playlist on creating the web API and consuming it with MVC in ASP.NET Core 3.1. I shall walk you through the creation of the update customer view today. These episodes and the code base are built-in continuation from the previous ones, hence I request you to go through them before coming to this one. I will give you the promotional link to my premium courses on Udemy, and there are 5 courses already live on Udemy, out of which there is the latest one on ASP.NET Core 3.1, hands-on, and build web projects of all the types like Razor and MVC as well as web API. So if you put your constructive and positive comments on these videos, I also request you to subscribe to the channel and share it. So let's switch over to see the learning outcomes of today. And by the end of this lecture, we shall be able to create an update customer view to render a specified customer and update the customer details back to the database, and integrate the server-side validation to validate the form inputs for the update view as well. So let's flip over to Visual Studio. So I am into the update customer and I will add view, because this will be an empty view, so it doesn't matter whether I will use this update customer, the top one, the HTTP GET, or the HTTP POST. So I'll click on add Razor view empty, and I will rename this as update customer. Update customer. And this comes up with an empty template with some comments. I'll get rid of that, and instead I will copy it from my clipboard. So from my memory on my clipboard, I will just dump it, because it's a huge amount of typing is involved, which is unnecessary, I believe. And I can explain each and every bit of it like I have done so far. And then this is the model is at model directive is model is pointing to the customer model again, and @ this is C# code. Layout is again the underscore layout in the shared layouts shared folder within the views. And then the title, I would like it to assume a title of update a customer. So far so good. And then in the H2 header, this is update a customer. This is the link with the ASP action to index action method of the customer controller. If you click on this back link, if you click on back, all right, and with this class button sm btn secondary. Now start the form tag with the method of post, and I'll be posting on the update customer method. Okay, so here is I have again introduced the ASP validation summary all with the class of text ranger, which will render it in red. So if there is when the ASP validation summary does come up, and when it comes up, when you actually leave something and post, okay, you click the submit button. And then similarly, these are the tag helpers. This is also one tag helper. This is a tag helper. This is the tag helper for label, and label ASP for, that means this is for ID, label for ID. And input class, this is the input box or the text box, which also is the same class. And this is the read only text box. It has got ID. Okay, so it is ASP for the ID property. And then this is for the name property, and then address, telephone and email with span ASP validation for, this is the ASP, this is the span is kept basically to, as in the case of add customer, these are the validation error messages for the individual elements like name, address, telephone and email. So the rest is this is just a submit button as we have seen it, and on clicking the submit button, which is marked update customer with the text update customer, it will be posted to the server. It will be posting the contents of this action method update customer, that is this update customer, it will be posting to the server, right? And then if the viewback.result equals success, I mean if it is a success, which also comes from this viewback.result equals success. Okay, so this is viewback is a dynamic property. It gets the dynamic viewback, and if the result is success, it is returned to the view, and it is trapped with the C# code at the rate if viewback.result equals success, because it is a if statement, so it has to be comparing with this string success. Okay, and then it creates on a table with table head, and within the table row you have got all the table headings: ID, name, address, telephone, email, much in the same way as the earlier views. And it then renders the table body in individual table cells or table data within one single row. It actually evaluates the ID, name, address, telephone, and email properties of this model, which is the customer model, right? So again, it actually updates the database with the updated record for the customer, and it actually, that's it. That's the way it renders the view. So in this lecture we have seen how to create the update customer view and integrate the tag helpers for the validation on the server side, and we have the client side validation, which is already coming through jQuery unobtrusive validation packages. So let's see all of this in action. Now I think we are ready to click on the start button to run the application and update one record. So both these projects are rendered and API is running, and I'll click here because API project is running. So let's see, let's try to update any of these. Say the first one, Johnny Rai Chow. I'll take this name out and update customer. So it has updated the customer. Okay, so if I click on back, John Roy. But however, if I get rid of this and click on update customer, it will come up with a validation message, and in the validation summary, please put a name. So as soon as I put a name, it vanishes. And if I get rid of this address, click on update customer, please put an address. Now if I again invoke the F12 tools, developer tools, and on the network tab nothing is there. And when I put an address over here and then click on update customer, so immediately the request, HTTP request, is sent through a round trip to the server, right? So rest of the things I have already explained about the client side validation in my previous lecture when we added a new customer. So see you in the next lecture.